I always love that song. Welcome to the GHPC developer stream for the month of February 2026. Yes, it is still February here. And that's how we count it, United States. I am Action Scripter, and today I am joined by Kavi.
Hello, hello.
As usual, let us know if the audio needs adjustment because we're going to jump right into it. So, we've been working hard. Let's do a little warm-up while we're making sure people filter in. And take a look at the roadmap. This has been a bit of a tradition because I like to update people on what's going on, where the focus of our effort is. So, looking at the website, we've got markers now because at some point I realized people would like to see exactly where we are, so now it's marked. We have the basic campaign done, fire support's done, infantry, we're missing the dragon, but otherwise done. Soviets done. Detailed crew, we're working. Bundeswehr, working. Enhanced destruction. The visual effects are done and they look quite nice if I do say so, but everything else we're working on. Expanded campaign, working on it. Multiplayer, working on it. So these are our main focuses. The detailed crew, the rest of the West German vehicles, and campaign and multiplayer are big items. This is what the majority of our developers are doing day to day. But there's still other stuff that we're putting out in updates. So we're going to go over a few of those things, and we're going to do some Q&A. Let me get my stream build going here. My camera might get a little bit shaky for a moment as the game starts because my PC does not like to stream at the same time, but that's okay.
Skill issue.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I would like to upgrade my hardware, but you know how prices are right now.
It doesn't help that you have to pay me every time you do it.
I have to pay the tax, the Kavi tax.
Yep. New RAM, I want 10%.
Yeah, I would love to get DDR5, but maybe another decade. All
Yeah,
right.
when I get that lottery ticket, we'll both get nicer computers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we are going to do a quick little jaunt in Abrams Alley for a particular reason. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think on a previous stream I showed a very early look at tree knockdown.
I believe you are correct. You did.
Let me, I think my mic's clipping into the red sometimes, so I'm gonna pull it down a bit. Anyway, we had a very early look at tree knockdown. I think I'll take a minute here to give a slightly less early look at tree knockdown. Alright, so we've got our Abrams, M1 IP, and we have a nice forest. I'm going to lock the turret in the rear position, like I'm doing marshalling or whatever, driving around. Enemies are over there, so we're fine for now. Actually, let me turn the sound up a bit. So, you might notice that it looks a lot different from before. We were showing a genuine early prototype last time, and they felt kind of funny, and everyone was like, hey, I've seen a tree before and that's not how they look. And yeah. So now that's, this is much closer to the final feature.
It has come out well.
Yeah, it's come out well. This is one of those things that's been going on the side with, we've had the audio guy doing a little bit on it, we've had one of the programmers working on it, and I'll occasionally be taking a peek out of the campaign feature thread and looking at the tree thread and being like, whoa, that looks cool, that's looking better. And it seemed like it was ready to show off today. As you can see, there's very little resistance for the small ones. Maybe I can get a truck or something going so you can see the difference. The Abrams is probably the highest or one of the highest torque vehicles in the whole game, so these are not going to stand up to me, but some of the other ones will. Or rather, some of the other vehicles, they will. Let's take a peek, actually.
Gunfire does not affect the trees. So artillery blasts, things like that. That is a no for right now, but we'll see what we can do later.
Yeah. Just like everything else, game is in development, so if we see improvements that we have time to make and want to make, then we can make them. What else? Let's see. Yeah, this is fine.
The Lorax does not approve. Nice.
I would imagine not. I saw someone ask if a tank can actually run over a tree that size. I don't know, I've never tried it, but it is a video game, so there are some video game isms that are going to be in there. I want to try a truck. Yeah, why not this one? So this is not a light vehicle, but it's a lot lighter than a tank. I think I'll have more trouble with trees with this. I can only imagine what the rain is doing to the bitrate on the stream. Oh, okay. That one gave up. There we go. This is more like what I was expecting. I can't just muscle this thing over. Yeah, so it does depend on the mass and the torque and everything. We'll leave it alone for now. Driver heavily wounded, yeah. That's should really try the UAZ and see what the passenger says about it. Anyway, so what else is going on? We've been working on more West German vehicles, as you might expect. Let me turn this music down. As much as I like the soundtrack. More West German vehicles in the meantime, because we try to make sure that releases come out regularly. So we're not going to make everybody wait multiple months at a stretch and be like, oh, we did another big thing. People seem to like updates. And it helps to show that stuff is still happening. So we should have another one fairly soon. Not going to say exactly when because things can change and etc. In the meantime, let's find another mission to play. I believe we have a new one actually. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so I've never played this one before. We'll see how I do. Enemy is company strength with leopards and martyrs. Friendly is T64A, BMP2. Okay, sounds good. Saw someone asking how I got that menu screen. That one was unlocked because I finished the mission Longer Road, I believe. Yeah. That was the mission that debuted the T-64 and the Soviet forces, if you don't count the UAZ. So if you finished that mission, you get the T-64 showcase menu in your random selection. Alright, what do we have here? We have BMPs back here. T-64 is up here. Looks like we are gonna... We're gonna have a go code for the tanks, and then another one for the BMPs. So that's in case I want to play as the BMPs and send the tanks up. We're gonna navigate this stretch. I think I remember this piece of forest from the RTS mode in April. It's always fun trying to figure out how to take the highway. Then we're gonna go up toward the town and split up the infantry after dismount. Okay, seems straightforward enough. The corridor is pretty locked down, so I'm gonna have to maneuver around the concealment. And then it's recommending this location for forward defenses. Oh yeah, you can click on these little target things if you didn't know. That's, I think not a lot of people have found that, but that's been there. Oh, and it's night. I didn't even notice. Alright. So since we're in a night mission, we have active IR illumination. BMPs are staging. Yeah, let's get the cruise control on. Yep. We're gonna have to make do with that. Do we have illumination? We do have illumination. Good. I'm gonna let the BMPs wait until I see if this is clear. I'll turn the sound up a little bit. Let me know if this drowns me out though.
You sound good.
Thank
and
you.
Also, it doesn't drown you out.
Yeah, but can I really trust Kavi though? It's
Could
like
you... Come on.
it's like when your mom tells you you're handsome.
And I do.
Uh-huh. I don't like this open ground here, but we also don't have a lot of options. If you see any interesting questions, by the way, from the chat, feel free to read them off. Alright, we have a tank. I know that the Sabo mark is around the bottom of that short tab. I think I overshot though. What I'm gonna do is immediately call indirect and illumination, because I'm not gonna mess around with this too much. Yeah, I might have undershot that one actually. Where am I?
It's asked every time. Is the Sheridan a possibility or not part of the time frame?
Uh, I think that one is borderline because they didn't actually have them anymore in '85, but they had them other places and they could have sent them back in. But it just depends how we feel. So for for vehicle questions specifically, there is an element of it needs to have been in the time and place, etc. But we also need to decide that it would be cool to add, and that's the final requirement for it. And okay, I'm over still. So I don't have an answer for you. We'll see what we have time for, and we'll see if it feels right to add it. Short. I'm really not doing well at this T-64 gunnery.
You're doing fine. You're great.
I'm gonna put my guys in line.
Completely separate from this, I'm betting on you to lose on poly market, so if you could, you know, I'd appreciate that.
Right. We're looking at about 1100, I think.
Hey guys, thanks to you, popping T-72s is one of my favorite pastimes. Well, you're welcome. Can you add repairing tracks? No, because that is a time-intensive process, and other games kind of gamify that. We do not.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can happen with tanks that is meant to happen when you're not in immediate danger and in the middle of the operation. We decided it wouldn't make sense to do track repairs in GHPC, and so there aren't. Do I need more loom? Yeah. I don't want to waste my CAS yet, but I'll call more indirect. Saw someone come in who's new and ask about M1A1. The M1A1 is out of time frame for 1985. If you look at the FAQ on our website, you'll see there's a couple of other frequently asked vehicles and our reasoning for them.
Josh, in your opinion, are there any real-time repairs that could be made to tanks in the field that can help them run again? Or is that more of a, you've gotta have the equipment and the space to do that and not be under attack?
I mean, in real life, you can always be risky and do all kinds of stuff. Here it's more of a gameplay consideration that you're gonna do the operation and keep it moving, and then if there's something that requires you to get out of the tank and wrench on it, that's best saved for in between missions. I found the problem, by the way. I was drastically underestimating my range because I forgot about the angle. I'm using the map reading technique. Okay, finally. Now that I've wasted so many kinetic rounds on one tank, I'm gonna put my guys in V formation so that they can get a little peek while I restock. Alright, so the go code for the infantry carriers will clear them all the way through the corridor, and I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to wait. I could also edit the plan and add an additional set of go codes, but I'm going to play the default first. I like to play the default plan and see what it's like, and then I make my own adjustments the next time. Alright, so we covered trees. There's some additional stuff that we're working on. Most of the stuff that we're working on is not ready to put in a live build, so it's not going to be on the stream. But if you are a Patreon supporter, stick around for the Q&A afterward. There's going to be some extra stuff there. I think I've probably used about enough restocking time now.
Will we be able to command each vehicle to move to a specific location in map menu? You can.
If they mean sub-platoon level, then probably not.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Good clarification.
Yep. Oh, we're taking ATGM fire. And possibly law as well. Yeah, okay, this is not a ideal situation here.
No plans to command specific air units. Will there be animated dismounts for troop carriers? We are working on several sets of animations. That may be in there, but for the most part, we have some animation work that's happening right there.
Yeah, just to expand on that a little bit, we're starting with animations for tank crew members, like opening the hatch and looking out and all that stuff. Once that system is in place, we'll have a lot more information to decide whether it's worth making full dismount information or animation for stuff. Alright. What do we have here? More troops. We're still at 900 or 1,000 there.
Will commanders become vulnerable when over the hatch
Yes.
after detailed crew?
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
The you know the vertical cover art for the game where there's the M60 commander and there's the heat round coming straight at his head. That's it should be possible to recreate that once that feature is done.
Crew dismounts after vehicle gets abandoned. We've talked about this a few times, I think.
As in showing them getting out?
I believe that's the question.
Yeah, so that's still unknown. I would like to do it, but I'm not gonna preempt the animators and say it's definitely happening and then find out later that there's issues with it. It is a cool idea. And they wouldn't be like, now there's a guy that you can control as infantry. It would be like, you see them for the duration of the dismount and then they're gone. I gotta be careful here, because I have 2 tanks left. 1.5 tanks left. And I gotta wait for my troop carriers to get up here. What are we seeing? Alright. Not great. I'm gonna guess we have Bradley's. Yeah. Yeah.
Hay bale destruction model? Nah, thos'll stay the way they are.
It's a very low-hanging fruit. I imagine at some point we'll be looking at those things, but in the meantime, it's a good lightning rod for this is an early access game. Alright, can I see anything without getting shot? I don't think I like the prospects, actually. This is very open ground. Do I have any terrain I can use to my advantage here? There's high ground both sides of me. I can't go far enough to the side to get past the left hill. I could try the right. Not a lot of cover there. But I have a confirmed ATGM corridor here that I'm sitting in, so I don't want to be here anymore. I'm gonna disengage and consider my next move. We'll see if the BMPs stir anything up. Alright, so there's the tank that I knocked out earlier. Illumination flares. Oh, okay. We have martyrs, not Bradleys. Why was I thinking Bradley?
Any plan for civilian cars or trucks as props scattered around villages and towns?
It's certainly a cool idea. I don't know what the art team is gonna do.
Early on, we did have discussions about making those areas a bit more lived in, like life was happening, but yeah, like we've mentioned, early access and not something we're committing to right now.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's actually more like 800. Oh, I don't have gun depression. There we go. This is not a great situation to be in with one tank left. Those berms keep getting me. I barely have defilade here. This is a rough spot. I'm dropping... Oh. I'm dropping illums on the far end of the town because how close you are to the light actually does affect how easily you're seen. And I don't want to make it any easier for the enemy, if they have infantry or whatever, to spot me. Anything else from the chat for questions?
Nothing so far. People come in and ask what's new, and I keep replying with deforestation in all caps.
That's fair. Maybe if I survive this mission, I'll run over a tree to celebrate.
As you should. Will ground troops have additional utilities like smoke grenades, HMGs?
We've got some stuff that we're working on. I'm not sure if it'll arrive.
I need the game to run on my poor potato for the next update. Early access, we're actively working on optimizations.
I thought I was lower.
Oh. Wait, does that mean I won my bet?
What was your bet?
Nothing. I was betting on your success.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm not dead yet, so... unfortunately, I have lost a lot of forces. Oh, what's this? Additional tank platoon? Okay. I'm gonna leave this guy exactly where he is. And I'm gonna go bring these guys in.
Will we get a German self-propelled ATGM launcher? What would that be?
That would be, what, Jaguar 1, Jaguar 2, something like that. Who knows? Lots of things could happen. We need to get in there quick. Wait, this guy is laser rangefinder. This is a T-64B. Leopard. I recommend dying. There we go. I won't fire artillery yet. I need targets. Alright, I think the mission designer took pity on me. Because we have T-64B model for the reinforcements. And that has a laser rangefinder, which will help a lot with my skill issue.
I was wondering why Scripter was adjusting the range manually. Well, that's just because he's really into this sort of role. He doesn't need technology to help him.
That was what clued me in too, because I started adjusting the range and I was like, wait a minute, there's my crosshair is moving. That's like the manual mode. Oh right, there's laser. Alright, what are we
Range
shooting at?
Scripter leads to action Scripter. Glad I'm not the only one who forgets to reload with the Soviet tanks. I forget that constantly.
I'm waiting till I see what kind of target I have next My with an empty breach, I can hammer a number key and get a new round pretty quick.
And that makes complete sense. I am just firing anything at anyone.
Пулемета. На 30. Цель потеряна. МЗ.
I think they saw troops over here.
Did top attack toes exist in 1985? I don't believe so.
I mean, they probably existed in some capacity, but they were having trouble getting ITO fielded in 1985, let alone TOE 2. Actually, the top attack one, no, didn't exist yet. The regular TOE 2 was just being developed, I think, but not prevalent in any way. So things are going well. I'm taking fire from an unknown... Oh.
Попадание.
That one's not your fault.
Yeah. I mean, it's kinda...
I'm trying to save your feelings.
Yeah, this is gonna be this guy.
Выстрел.
I think I went short. They did a hold down martyr, which is
Потеряно.
really cool. Oh god, there's more tanks too.
No British or French tanks.
Yeah, you can check the FAQ for some of these, but yeah, the basic list of factions in the game right now, the four, both Germany's and US and USSR, those are the factions that the game is launching with. If we have a good release and we want to keep making expansions, then we can look at other stuff at that time. I'm gonna unload the infantry early.
Подкалиберный. На 35. ВТР.
Actually, I'm gonna wait till my guys get.
Цель понял. Огонь выстрел. Недолет. Прекратить
Any
огонь.
chance to change the spacing of RD impacts? They're pretty well spaced out right now.
If you mean like a way to designate how you want them to fall, then I don't think we're doing that. That would be like if we have everything else done, we would probably look into more control over the artillery calls.
Read that in my, can you fix a bug mindset.
Ooh. No, no, no.
Есть цель. Огонь. Подкалиберным. На 30. Танк.
Fuck. I can't see.
Цель потеряна.
I need to get that guy missiled as soon as possible, but I can't see him.
Which mission are you playing again?
This is the Regiment's Way. Think it's on Point Alpha? No, it's the... Yeah, it's Point Alpha. Well, I kind of deserve that. It's a pretty desperate last stand here.
Are helmets used by ground troops actually capable of stopping or ricocheting projectiles?
Yes.
Yes.
But they're not bullet rated helmets. They're basic steel pots, so it's gonna be some fragment protection, maybe ricochet, but if it's like a direct hit from a 7.62 at medium range, it's not gonna save them.
Kavi, does this mean you win the bet? He's still alive.
Откалиберный. Выстрел! Танк. Цель потеряна.
I think all those guys are still up. Yep. Alright, what are we dealing with here? We still have armor up. We have no mobile tanks. Wow. And we're being seen from the flank somewhere. Wonder how far around I can go. How is crew damage determined? They have their own damage model, like the tanks do, but it's like body parts. So central nervous system, various flesh damage stuff. And once they take a certain amount of impacts, they are classified as the various wounded levels. Once they get seriously wounded, they can't perform their duties anymore, they're unconscious. And at that point, the distinction between killed and severely wounded is pretty immaterial. They just stop functioning in their crew roles. We've thought about having them be able to bleed out if they're badly wounded, but it doesn't really change anything besides increasing the number of KIA in the score screen. And there would have to be other mechanics around it to make it actually worthwhile. So that's still in the maybe pile. Wish I hadn't used all my illumination so early because I'd have a good line on these guys for missiles.
Question is, will you improve Russian crew voice lines to make them more emotional? They are speaking like they do not care, and they never swear at the enemy like American crews. Some of our American voice actors improved those voice lines, and we liked them so much that we put them in. The other scripts did not have much improv, so we used what was available. That being said, our voice lines are still very good, and if we did want to go back and redo any of them, that is not a priority for us at this point in development.
Yeah, There were also some swearing lines in the initial takes, but there were issues with those takes, so we couldn't put them in. So, yeah, if we ever have time and decide to do another pass at it, we might record more, we might not. If you would like to record Russian voice lines, you can always email us and get an audition, so that in case that does happen, we've got you on the list. But we're working with what we got. As you might expect, we can't exactly find native Russian speakers easily in our neck of the woods developing.
It has been cool the size of international community that has come in and played our game, and who have offered skills and assistance for our development. So, you know, we get some people reaching out, but for the most part, yeah, as we are developing and priorities change, that is what we will go with the resources that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna genericize this question. Are X features still placeholders? Can we expect those to change in the future? You could expect anything to change in the future because this is an early access game. But for the most part, we have our priorities right now, and we're not looking to do any large, expansive changes for content.
Yeah, whatever's on the roadmap is what we're intending to do. Anything else is optional. I know there's somebody else here. Question is, will I find them before they find me? Like, who's machine gunning these positions? Radio contact is all broken down now because the remaining vehicles are immobilized and there's no power, and the infantry are not on the same net. Oh. Okay. Didn't realize I was running into a tree. Before that would have been bonk and then stop moving. So you can already see the major difference that feature's making.
Our contractors and I have delivered value to the shareholders. I'm happy for that.
Yep. Okay. There's not a lot left that I can do. I've pretty much bungled the mission. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna hide my screen here. And I'm going to play around with fate a little bit. And then alright, so we held out till morning. And I'm gonna try to figure out who's left.
Hide until morning. You nut. Oh my god, you're so good at this game, Action. Isn't he?
It's fine, I have a camo net, they won't be able to see me.
God, scripter.
I gotta be honest, I think this one's a stalemate. I think, maybe with the time we have left, I should find something else to show. Is that a living tank? No. Everybody's dead.
The sun is a deadly laser. I agree.
It is. Good reference. Okay. Well, we're gonna call the Regiment's Way a draw. I look forward to when this comes out, you guys can show me a better way. In the meantime, there is one more thing I want to pull up before we run out of time.
I was just informed in the chat that the mission doesn't end until you drive to the defense point.
Oh, now you tell me. Okay. We're gonna do something a little different here. What's a good mission with scouts in it?
Claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia? Jesus. Let me see.
Does that not have scouts?
It might. No, it doesn't.
Damn.
I want to say... Could do Silver Dart. It's always a classic.
Pragmatic payment.
Does that have scouts? Let me see.
Someone recommended it in the chat.
Pragmatic payment. It does have scouts. Okay, we'll do a quick pragmatic payment. And I'm making some changes.
Again, a lot of people telling me that they think I won the bet because you quit. I don't think I did though.
You
I
know,
don't think I can really cover that.
people are entitled to their own opinions.
Now I got someone saying you owe me $20, so.
It's one of those shadow bets. Alright, we're gonna
You
do...
accepted the terms as soon as you started playing.
We're gonna do Rule 63 pragmatic payment. Is that the right one?
63.
I think that's the right one. I don't know, don't quote me on that. Yeah, the gender bend.
Ah, okay.
It's been a long time since, what, 2008 or whenever all that shit was happening. Alright, pragmatic payment. Let me make sure I'm in good starting condition here before I show screen. Yeah, of course chat knows. Yeah, that's correct. Thank you. Thank you, fellow perverts. Alright, I'm gonna advance just enough to get this rolling before I actually show what's happening.
I survived the fold gap and all I got was this lousy shirt. Well, if you go to our website, which is pinned in the chat, you can find our merch link. And there are some cool shirts there.
We will sell you a lousy shirt if you go there.
Lousy shirt, great design.
Ah, fucking hell. Alright.
Kavi, will you ever join Josh for a stream IRL again? It was suggested to me this morning that I come over to his place and be in the background. But no, not anytime soon.
Wait. How do you know if Kavi was on my streams? I've had a mysterious masked man in the background sometimes, but I know I don't have my screen up yet. Just give me a sec. This takes
Okay,
some
we all just like looking at you. That's fine.
takes some setup. I think my sound was still coming through, so that might be a clue about what's going on.
Merc 89 deforestation is new.
Yeah, we showed it at the beginning of the stream. You can always check the VOD. I haven't played Pragmatic Payment in a minute, so I don't know when I get a good clear spot here to show something. I think I'm just gonna dodge. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pause the game so that I can show stuff without worrying about that. Okay, so Pragmatic Payment. We have enemy somewhere. Yeah, there we go. I've flipped the script. We've got a BTR out here shooting at me. Another one over there. And then over here somewhere we have my side approaching. We're starting with just scouts at first, so there's not a lot going on, but they're taking a lot of shots at me, and I'm engaging all 8 wheels to try to steer out of the way of those impacts. So I don't know. Maybe I can survive that. Maybe I can't. But it's you know, I'll give him a run for the money. So there you go. There's a weird looking BTR, that's right.
Yeah, weird looking is right.
So yeah, everybody who called looks is you can pat yourself on the back. And everybody who called Leopard 2, keep dreaming. maybe another time. It's a fucking Leopard 2, run! That's right.
Oh my god.
Okay. I think we're out of time now. So, thank you for coming to the stream. And for our Patreon supporters, we're going to start the Q&A in the Discord server momentarily. Any last words, Kavi?
God. If you like what we're doing, come and join our Discord. You can find links to that and a bunch of other stuff, like our FAQ and other posts at GunnerHeatPC.com. And yeah, join the Patreon and we'll talk more later.
Alright. Then that's all.
Bye-bye.